Right. So thank you everyone for joining us today. We are, it's our management through movies session, and we started management through movies to extend learning beyond the classroom. And as trainers and facilitators, we always had, we always show clips and movie clips through programs to teach people lessons that are there, that we could learn from them. And at Square Sequel, we decided why not take that beyond the classroom. So we meet once every month, once every few weeks to discuss a new movie based on live events or based on true stories and or inspired by true events, and we try and find what are the life lessons we can learn from these movies. So we have we are Square Sequel, and we welcome all of you here today for joining us for this session. And I'd like to hand over to Arvind to take it forward from here.
Hi, very good morning, and thank you, Zoya, for a fantastic introduction. And today, in the Management Through Movies session, the movie we are going to take into account is a movie by the name of Shabaash Mithu. And as we all know, this movie was made on the lives and incidents of cricketer Mithali Raj, who ultimately became one of the highest scorer in Test cricket when it came to women. And this movie is directed by Shrijit Mukherjee, and the cast, as you can understand, it is Tapsi Pannu in and as Mithali Raj. And if you want to see this movie, you can see this movie on Netflix. It's streaming there, right? So when we are going to talk about this movie, the agenda for today is going to be today. First of all, we are going to talk about the storyline as to what the story was, right? Once we talk about the storyline, we'll talk about what are the learnings from this movie Shabash Mithu is, right? After that, we'll have the question and answers. And let me tell you, as a disclaimer, that we learn from these movies. We are only talking about the learnings from the movies. We are not at all recommending or doing any review for the movie, whether you should watch the movie or not. It is only the learnings which we are going to discuss here. Right? So let's give you a few brief introduction of the movie Shabash Mittu. It is a real life story of a young girl who earlier was a young dancer at a very early age. And somehow the turn of events happened in such a way that she was attracted towards cricket. Right? And since cricket in India is conventionally played by men, it is a men dominated sport. So she has to deal with gender bias and discrimination at every level. Be it at the start when she got into cricket, when she was playing the cricket at the backyard of a house, or when she was into the national team as well. So she has to face that gender bias each and every day at each and every level, right? So if we continue with the brief introduction, the backdrop of the story goes to 1990 and 2000, and that when a young girl gets attracted towards the game of cricket, right? And at the time, Indian society in this movie is shown to be very highly gender biased, where the women cricketers are addressed as Mulayam, that is very soft. So she was being actually addressed as Miss Mulayam, and women cricketers are given altogether a differential underprivileged treatment. So much so that they are not even considered as athletes, and they have to wear the t-shirts. Excuse me, I'm sorry. They have to wear t-shirts which was already been worn, which are already been used by the men counterpart. So that was actually like when I saw that movie, I felt very bad about it, right? And it was a Men in Blue concept. That means the Men in Blue were very highlighted. They were appreciated. The moment they used to come to the airport, everyone was shouting India, India, and everything. And when these girls, they were going to the airport, so the person at the ticket counter asked them to take out the extra luggage, and these girls have their kids as extra luggage. So in order to take the kids to the country where they were going to play, they have to take out certain woolen clothes, and because of which they actually felt the cold at England. So these are the kind of treatment and they were given, and it was shown that only the men cricketers are supposed to have, they were having the privilege to certain recognitions and facilities. Women cricketers were not even considered as athletes. So that was the scenario and the ambience in which this movie was being shot, right? So let's before the start of this session, we saw the trailer. Let's once again see the trailer. Let's once again see the trailer and understand as to what the things which have been said, how it was being shown in the movie. So the trailer which is going to come to you, and here it comes.
मैं 8 साल की थी जब किसी ने सपना दिखाया था। मेन इन ब्लू की तरह हमारी भी एक टीम होगी। वुमेन इन ब्लू। तो कैच क्यों ली? तेरे को मना किया था ना मैंने।
टैलेंट नेचुरल है इसमें। अगर प्रॉपर ढंग से ट्रेनिंग हो गई, प्रोफेशनल खेलने के चांस है।
जा फिर चुली।
तुम मिताली की बात कर रहा हूँ। आज से यही तुम्हारा घर, यही सब कुछ है।
मैं आ रहा हूँ कप ऑफ टी प्लीज। ये इंग्लिश मीडियम क्योंकि एलिजाबेथ के घर से आई है। देख के दिखा। शक्ल अच्छी है तेरी। शादी बना, बच्चे बना। यहाँ कहाँ फंस गई है तू?
ये मैदान देख ले, ये भी जिंदगी की तरह है। यहाँ सारे दर्द छोटे हैं, बस खेलना बड़ा है।
Come on, join us. We have a new captain. ये सब लड़कों के सर हमारी बहुत बेसिक नीड्स हैं। मोर मैचेस, ट्रैवल फैसिलिटीज, हमारे अपने नाम के कपड़े। सर हमारी भी तो कोई पहचान है।
5 वुमेन क्रिकेटर्स के नाम बताओ।
सॉरी सर,
किसी एक को तो पहचान नहीं यार। हो गई पहचान।
ऐसा खेल के दिखाएंगे कि हमारी पहचान कोई कभी भूल ना पाए।
Who is your favorite male cricketer?
So you just saw the last question which this journalist asked. He said, "Who's your favorite male cricketer?" And you know what the answer which was given by Mitali Raj? She asked a simple question. Do you ask the same question when you interview a male cricketer as to who is your favorite female cricketer? So that's what the kind of resilience Mitali Raj had, and that all that resilience came out because of the kind of gender bias she has to face over a period of time. So let's understand what are the lessons which we can learn from this movie. The first lesson is about leadership, or about the people who are the promoters. So all the leaders and promoters shall be unbiased. So remember when in this trailer you saw that when the little girl Mithu takes the catch of the brother. So brother goes back to his house and says ki complaints as to why was she allowed to come on the ground. And not only that, his grandmother also felt bad about it. And as a parent, we are the promoters of our child. As a parent, we are the leaders of the family. And as a leader of the family and the promoter, it is our responsibility that we have to be unbiased. Because you know that talent is not a function of gender. And as a parent, we should believe that there is a possibility of immense talent whether it's a boy or a girl, and not only as a leader of a family, but also as a leader of an organization. These gender bias are often observed in lots of organizations as well. So, as a leader of an organization or as a promoter of an organization, we have to be strictly unbiased because talent is not a function of a gender. Talent is not a function of a surname even. So, leader and promoter should be always unbiased. Learning number two: resources are always limited and situations are never ideal. If you look at the picture which is shown here, both the girls, they're not even in the sports gears. They are just wearing the dancing dress. And if you look at the wickets, there's no wickets even there. There are only a few sticks which have been arranged somehow that they don't fall off. And if you look at small stones which have been placed there, so those stones are like fielders. If this girl Mithu has to score some runs, she has to find, she has to hit between those fielders. If the ball hits those stones, she's out. And that is her first learning. And that is the reason why, when she became a cricketer, she was able to find the gaps in the field so easily. Because right from the childhood, she started to find the gaps between the two stones. So that's why we say, start with whatever you have, wherever you are. A bad start is better than no start. So resources are always limited and situations are never ideal. So don't let them become your constraints. Right? Start with wherever you are and whatever you have. Learning number three: communicate in the language that the person understands. If you look if you look at the movie, initially when the little girl Mithu starts to play cricket, she was not able to connect the ball with the bat. Every time the girl who was throwing the ball at her, she used to miss. So the girl who was throwing the ball at Mithu said, since you are missing the ball every time, so don't think that the ball is coming to you. Don't think about cricket. Just think about the dance. And in dance, what do they say? They used to say, Yatha Drishti Tatha Bhav, which means wherever our wherever we can see, there whichever place we can see, we can express ourselves at that place. So whatever we can see, we can have our energy in the direction. So that girl did not explain to her with a cricketing language. She explained everything to her with the language of the dance, and the language of the dance was something which was easily understood by the young girl Mithu. And the moment this was communicated to her, she just closed her eyes, and after closing the eyes, the next ball she played, she was able to connect that ball with the bat and place that in the gap. So, the moment this girl communicated in the language which she was able to understand, she was able to connect. So, my dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, communicate in the language that the other person can understand so that person can relate with you. Learning number four: never take anything for granted. As you also saw in the trailer. So while the coach came to the family and he said, "Your child is a prodigy. Your child has got every reason to play in the national team." So the grandma addresses the boy to touch the feet. She says, "Paanch ho beta." So they took it for granted that the coach has come to only for the boy, but they were surprised to see when the coach said, "No, no, 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 no. I'm not talking about his son. I'm talking about the young girl Mithu." So mostly we see take lots of things for granted. We just can't imagine as to success or the chances of success can come from unexpected corners, right? So keep your perspectives and perspectives open so that you don't get these surprises and you don't take anything for granted, right? Learning number five: speak up for your rights. If you will not speak up for your rights, who will? Whether if you talk about the movie, whether if you take the instance when the young girl took a stand and decided to play cricket rather than pursuing dance, that was the first time when Mithu spoke up for her rights, what she wanted. Not only that, there was an instance when WCB, that is Women's Cricket Board, were not having enough funds. So she was the first one who said, "Why don't we ask the CIA, that is Cricket India Association, to tie up with Women's Cricket Board?" So most of the people said, "Oh, come on, this is not possible. Whatever things we are getting, even that will not come." But she said, "Don't worry, I'll speak up for my rights." And she gave a proposal to CIA And to the surprise of everyone, CIA accepted that proposal. So speak up for your rights. Things will happen. Not only that, in the first time when the proposal was accepted, all the girls got apparels or their dresses, and the dresses of the apparels of the sports gear which was given to girls was the one which was already being used by the boys. So that was something which was actually very bad to feel about. And when girls went to the CIA chief, they actually put their concern in front of the chief. Maybe the CIA chief didn't agree to what they said, but their coach, the team, and each and every player and entire WCB was united by this stand. And later on, when there was a World Cup, this stand gave the benefits at that point of time. And all the women cricketers got the right kind of gear and the sporting outfits. So speak up for your rights. It has not been shown once, but it has been shown in numerous times in this movie. If you will not speak up for your rights, who else will? Right? Then learning number 6. Never let your progress hinder your learning. In our life, what happens when you start to progress, when you achieve at a particular level, we stop our learning. We say, oh, this is the place we have achieved. Why should we learn more? And this has been shown in this movie when Miss Sukumari Rai, who was the captain of Indian national cricket team for women before Mithali Raj. So at one point of time, the coach tells Sukumari Rai, this is not the right shot for this ball. So that cricketer who was a captain says, come on, sir, don't tell the captain of the Indian team as to which shot she should play. अब तो मैं कैप्टन बन गई हूँ सर, अब तो मुझे मत सिखाइए. And poor shot selection, irrespective of whether you are a captain or you are a veteran or whatever kind of cricketer you are, if you have the poor shot selection, it can lead you to lose your wicket, irrespective of the person you are. Right? So, whatever you become, whether you may become a veteran or you may become you may become an expert, never lose learning, because the biggest room in the room is the room for improvement. So never let your progress hinder your learning. Even if you become the captain of the team, keep on learning. And that was the reason that non-learning or the attitude of non-learning became the reason why Mr. Kumari Rai failed as a captain in subsequent matches. Right? Then learning number 8. Teething problems are a part of any star. Teething problems will definitely come. If you look at this movie, the first time when Mithali Raj went to join the Indian national cricket team, and everyone was there was busy in her own fights and in her own issues. So that is the time when she enters inside the room. So no one accepted her. In fact, she replaced a cricketer called Mamta. So most of the cricketers, most of the team members took her as a threat that she is the girl who has came in front of Mamta, whereas Mamta was a very popular cricketer at that time. So she was perceived as a threat. And they all actually pestered her not only with the comments but with fast deliveries, with illegal deliveries, with short pitch deliveries. And when she was pestered by them, then she was not feeling very comfortable. That is the time when the women chief of the WCB, she called her in her room and asked her, what is the most important thing for a batter? To which she said, footwork. The lady said, no. Before the footwork, the most important thing for a batter is the position of the head. If the position of your head is at the right place, you can never fail, neither in life nor on the pitch of cricket. So take control of your head, otherwise you will not be able to survive. And there was another analogy of leather making, where one of the women cricketer was a daughter of a blacksmith. So she used to say, "Ki caustic namak, very hard salt, is spread over the leather part of it, and the part of the leather which is able to survive that treatment of salt becomes very hard and strong. That means at the start, lots of things are inflicted at you, which becomes a teething problem. But if those things have been taken care of, you become strong." That was very well and very subtly explained in this movie, right? So learning number 9. Everyone is fighting his or her own battle. Accept it and have a respect for that. So when coach was talking to Mithali Raj, she explained it very beautifully that struggles and the process of development actually develops serendipity in a person. At every point of time, the person becomes good enough and ready enough to go back and start from and restart from the point of start, right? So there was lots of other players as well. One of the players was working on a tea stall. After having a 5 hours of a strenuous training session, she used to go and sell tea at the stall. Similarly, there was a girl who was a daughter of a blacksmith who used to create leathers as Kanpur leather factories. And one of the daughter was a daughter of a fisherman. So the coach said, "Ki these all are different. They all come from different backgrounds, and they follow different kind of strengths. So please accept and respect that. And along with acceptance and respecting those strengths, please focus on your strengths." And what was the strength of Mitali Rai? Her strength was technique. So very subtly said, he respect everyone, accept everyone, but still focus on your strengths. That was fantastic learn. Everyone is fighting his own battle. Respect that and expect that. And last but not the least, your job or your commitment is paramount. Whatsoever happens in this world, that comes on the second seat. That takes a second seat. The first seat is occupied by your commitment, your job. As you see, at one of the debut matches, when she was about to play for India against England in England, the captain of the team, who did not wanted Mithali to do well, she deliberately broke the news before the debut match that her coach has met an accident and he has succumbed to the injuries. And that is the time when Mithali got actually disturbed. But she didn't allow this disturbance to take over her performance. And why? Because she could remember what her coach used to tell her. ये खेल सबसे बड़ा है, बाकी दर्द सबसे छोटे हैं. This game is the biggest thing in the world for you. And all other pains are smaller in front of this game. That means, what is the game for her? For her, the game was her dharma, her job, her commitment. So her job, her commitment was paramount. Every other pain in the world was very small as compared to that. And the same applies to our lives. Whatever our commitment are, whatever we have said, whatever we have committed, whatever work we are doing, if we are doing the work, we have then given the commitment, that is the most important thing. Every other pain, every other thing takes a backseat, right? So if you summarize the 10 learnings of it, these are the 10 learnings. Number one, leader and promoter shall be unbiased. Resources are always limited and situations are never ideal. So don't let them become the constraints. Resource and communicate in the language that one understands. Never take anything for granted. Speak up for your rights. Never let our progress limit or hinder our learning. And teething problems are part of any start. And everyone is fighting for fighting a battle in his or her life. So please accept and respect those battles. People are just difficult. The people are just different. They are not difficult, right? And our job, our commitment is paramount. So these are the learnings from this movie. And now I'll quickly go to any question and answers. Over to you, Zoya.
Thank you, Arvind. Thank you so much for that session. Any questions anybody has? Anybody would like to ask Arvind, or any comments or thoughts you have about the movie?
Any questions, any comments? Feel free.
So no comments are also, I like to take them as no comments are good comments. So
Yes.
thank you so much everyone for joining us today, for being part of this management through movies. You can always reach out to us if you have a suggestion for the upcoming movies, and stay tuned for our next MTM. You'll be informed through the regular channels. Thank you for joining. Thank you, Arvind, so much for taking this. Um, Thank you so much. Have a great day.